Hi everyone, my name is Sandrine, and we are back for another episode 6 of How in the World Do You Pronounce It, where I want to help you make sense, pronounce, and practice all the challenging French names of cities and mountain peaks of Stage 9, from Aigle to Châtel, les portes du soleil, of this 2022 edition of the Tour de France. I am a native of France and I want to demystify the French language. Remember to exaggerate vowels. Relax about pronouncing the French R because it's actually pretty easy. I'll give you tips about that. We will do what I refer as to the banana smile. And we will remember to take a good breath before pronouncing longer names. And with all of that, we will still try to enjoy the ride. All right, let's start, shall we? First off, though, I am going to say all the names in this stage once. For those of you who can benefit from just listening to them and know a little bit of French already. And then we will break them down. So here we go. Stage 9 is from Aigle to Châtel, les portes du soleil. So depart from Aigle. Montreux, Vevey, Cully, Côte de Bellevue, Châtel-Saint-Denis, Sansal, Bulle, Montbovon, Rossinière, Col des Mosses, les Diablerets, Col de la Croix, Olon, Aigle, Montet, Trois-Torrents, Pas de Morgin, and finally the finish line, l'arrivée, is at Châtel, les portes du soleil. All right, now let's break these all down. So little tips. The French R is pretty easy. It's basically an exhale type of movement, and you keep your tongue at the bottom of your mouth and it stays put. So it's basically ha. This is mostly the French R. There are other accents, but mostly this is the French R, and it will take you far. And the banana smile is what I refer to pronounce the E sound, to make sure we can differentiate the E with the I. I is different than E. So that's why I really emphasize on that. So E, the banana smile, is not I. And what else I would say? That's it, because I will make sure to remind you to take a good breath before pronouncing most of these names. Actually, it just helps. I would suggest every time you want to pronounce a foreign name, for that matter, or even when you talk in your own language, but mostly it will always help to be able to pronounce a foreign name. When you take a good breath, you inhale well. The more air you have in your mouth, in your jaws, in your mouth, the better you can pronounce. All right, let's go. So Aigle, depart from Aigle. Aigle. So Aigle, Aigle, Aigle. Not too bad, I hope. So from there, our favorite riders will arrive at kilometer 15.1 au kilomètre 15,1. They will arrive in Montreux. For those who like jazz music, you must have heard of this town. Montreux. So we have the sound on, on. We do have a French R. So re. Remember, your tongue is down below in your mouth, in your jaws, if you will, and it stays put, and you just exhale. Re. And here it goes into re. So if you take a good breath, if you inhale before you exhale to pronounce the R, it will help. So re. Right? Now, the difficulty is the T. There's the T sound before the R sound. This is why I'm here. This is the reason why I'm doing this. All right, so we can do this. Good breath. De re. And then we shorten it and try to do it all at once for this sound, which is tre. Tre. And so it goes as like this. Montreux. Yes. Next up, at kilometer 21.7, au kilomètre 21,7, they will arrive in Vevey. So here we have again the sound E, just like in Montreux. So we have E and we have E. And both are preceded with a V sound, with a V. V. So let's try. Vevey. We go. Not bad, I think. especially compared to most of these. Next is they will arrive at kilometer 31.7 au kilomètre 31,7 in Cully. Now this is a bit tricky. You have to pronounce as much as possible, of course, the sound U. U is basically your mouth is pretty closed up. It's a small opening of your mouth and your jaws drop. So it goes like U. I know it's a very foreign sound. U. And then it goes into the banana smile, the E. The letter Y in French is pronounced E. Now, again, I've been saying this in the previous episodes. We don't want to focus on the way French names are spelled. All right, which is another reason why I'm doing this. So here again we have U, I, as in Cully. Encore, good breath. Cully. There you go. Next up, they will arrive at kilometer 37.1. I think I got that one. Oh yeah, I got that one wrong. Sorry. Anyway, the next stop or next finish is in Côte de Bellevue. Côte de Bellevue. Let's break it down. Côte de, côte, O, de, côte de, Bellevue. Belle, most of you have heard this word before, this name, Belle. Bellevue. So here again we have the sound U. Vue. Bellevue. Bellevue, and as a whole, together, ensemble, we take a good breath. Côte de Bellevue. Encore, again. Côte de Belle vue. Yes. All right, next up. Now I have the right, I have the right kilometer here. At kilometer 49.9, au kilomètre 49,9, they will arrive in Châtel, Saint-Denis. Châtel, Saint-Denis. So we have the French A, very typical in French. So it's a A, just like in the first stage. Well, the first stage in French, so it was stage 4. They arrived in Calais, right? Calais, A. Here it's Châtel, Châtel, L. So Châtel, Châtel, Saint, un is the sound in the French number 1. Un. Just like in stage 4, they departed from, the town of Dunkerque. Here it's the same sound with a sa. Saint. So far we have Châtel, Saint, Châtel, Saint. Together, ensemble. Châtel, Saint, Denis. It's the name Dennis in French, Denis. So we have again the sound E. Just like in Côte de Bellevue. E, Denis. So we have E, and we have the banana smile, I. E, Denis. Encore, Denis. So as a whole, let's try it together, ensemble. Good breath. Châtel, Saint-Denis. Encore, again. Châtel, Saint-Denis. Yes. Could be worse, I think. I hope. Next up, at kilometer 56.5, au kilomètre 56,5, they will arrive in Sansal. Sansal. So here we have the sound. I don't think we've been through this one in this stage. Yeah. So the sound en. With the sa, son. And next is salle. With a French a, salle. Sans salle. Together, ensemble. Good breath. Sans salle. Not too bad, huh? Next, they will arrive at kilometer 68.2, au kilomètre 68,2. This is a very cute name. They will arrive in Bulle. Bulle means bubble in English. I think it's cute. All right, Bulle. So here we have this infamous tricky U sound, but we can do it. U. Again, small opening or closing of your mouth, and you drop your jaws. U. It's pretty much down below. U. And it's ul. Pardon. Sorry. My voice is tired. I have to say the heat is not helping. All right, that's my excuse. Ul. And with the B that starts it off, bulle. Together, ensemble, bulle. There you go. Now you know how to say bubble in French. All right, next up, at kilometer 86.1, au kilomètre 86,1, they will arrive in Mon beau vent. That's a lot of on and o and on. So basically, this name involves the sounds on twice, at the beginning, at the end, and in between we have the o sound, o. So we have basically on, o, on. So on is a closed up sound. It's closed up in your mouth, in your jaws. On. O is pretty open. O. And we close up again for the last on. On, o, on. And as a whole, it goes like this. Mon beau vent. Mon beau vent. Ensemble, together. Good breath. Or inhale. Mon beau vent. Mon here with the T, M-O-N-T, means mount. But again, we don't pronounce the T, right? So, but I just want to give you a little, I mean, if you can learn a little French while trying to pronounce these sounds, I think that's an added bonus. But let's focus on the pronouncing though. Mon beau vent. Let's try it together. Mon beau vent. Mon beau vent. Yes. All right, next up, at kilometer 92.5, sorry, 92.5, au kilomètre 92,5, they will arrive in Rossinière. Yes, it started with the French air, which is pretty much, that's what it is, it's air. It's the air we breathe. That's the sound R in French. So, air, again, we exhale while our tongue stays put down below our mouth and jaws. So it's a R, R. R goes into ro, ro, ro. And it's even easier if you inhale first. You take a good breath. A ro, right? And next are the sounds E, banana smile, E. And then we will have I, yeah. It will go like this. I, yeah, yeah, yeah. R, hier, 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 hier. And a little bit all together. Hier, hier. This is a very important sound in French. We pronounce it a lot. The same sound would mean yesterday in French. Hier. Now here I have to say that it will be a bit shortened. It will go like yeah, yeah. So it's, I would say we accentuate the eh sound. Yeah, yeah. As a whole, we go back to the French R, basically the breath. Rossinière. Encore, together, ensemble. Rossinière. Rossinière. Yes, we did it. Next up is at kilometer 108.5, au kilomètre 108,5, le col des Mosses. Col des Mosses. So here we have O, we have E, we have, O again, O, and then we'll work on the consonant sound. So let's start off with col, col. And by now, you guys know how to pronounce this, or at least you know how it's pronounced. You've heard it many times by now, from stage 4, 5, 6, and etc. till now. So, col, col, col de, de. And it's not du or de la, or it's de because it's plural. That's the only reason why. But anyway, de. Col de mos. 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 Right? Mos. So as a whole, together, ensemble, we take a good breath. Col de mos. There we go. Next up, at kilometer 122.3, au kilomètre 122,3. They will arrive in, let's go for this one, les diablerets. I'll break it down for you. That's exactly why I'm doing this. Never fear. So off we go. Les, it's pretty much like des with a le instead of a de. So it's not des, but it's les. So it's e. It's not e, right? It's e. It's up above in your mouth. E is a big smile, banana smile. This is e. Les, dia, dia, dia. And if you speak Spanish, you've heard that before, dia. Or maybe I'm wrong, it's Portuguese, gia. Well, let me not try to infuse other languages here. So, sorry. Dia. 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 Let's shorten it as dia. Dia. Again, French a. Dia. Dia. Bleu. 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 Then French R. A breath, right? We exhale and we go into e, so it's going to be re, re, right? So bleu, re, bleu, re, dia, bleu, re. Yeah, it's a lot of vowels, and again, that's why I want you to exaggerate them. Dia, bleu, re. Diablerait, right? So as a whole, together, ensemble, let's take a good breath. Les diablerets. Encore, again, les diablerets. And the French way is exactly like this. Les diablerets. All right, we did it. Next up, at kilometer 131.8, au kilomètre 131,8, they will arrive at Col de la Croix. Col de la Croix. So again, col, 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 ol, col. Now here we have E and A. E, A, as in de la, de la, de la, croix, 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 roi, roi, roi. So inhale, inhale and exhale with your tongue. That stays put, doesn't move down in your mouth. Stays down below, doesn't move. Roi. Or more like this. Roi. Roi. Right? And the trickiest part is to add the k sound before croix, right? So you take it easy. You take a good breath. And we can do this. Que roi. Que roi. Roi, roi, and then we try to do it all together. Croix, croix. So as a whole, it goes like this. Col de la Croix. Col de la Croix. All right, next up. They will arrive at kilometer 149.6 au kilomètre 149,6 in, this is a pretty easy one I think, Olon. Olon. So it have similar sounds than earlier in Montbovon. So we have O, 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 and on. So on is, you keep it inside your mouth. On. It's well, it's pretty nasal actually. That's what I should say. Pretty nasally. So it's a closed mouth and it goes into your nose. On. But it starts with O. Good breath. Au long. Au long. And off we go. Next, so at kilometer 153 au kilomètre 153, they will arrive, get back to, I guess, Aigle. Aigle. So, and gle. Pretty much. Aigle. So we focus on the and then we drop the sound of the name on the gle. Pretty much. Aigle, aigle, which is an eagle. Aigle. All right, and then they will depart from Aigle and arrive at kilometer 166.4 au kilomètre 166,4 in Montais. Montais. So again, we have the on sound, which is in your mouth and in your nose. So it's mon, te, and it's monte, monte. Good breath with me, avec moi. Monte, monte. There you go. Next up at kilometer 172.4 au kilomètre 172,4, they will arrive in, let's do this, Trois Torrents. Trois Torrents. So trois is the number 3. Trois. And torrent is torrents. You know, torrents. So let's break it down. Trois. I know. We have the R sound, R, the good breath that transforms into wa. So just like we had it earlier for the word or the name, both. Croix, col de la Croix, and here is trois. So, roi, roi, again, inhale first and exhale for the R. Ra, roi, roi, roi. And the hard part is to pronounce it with the T sound, the T. So, trois. Good breath. De roi, de roi, de roi. And then you try to get this all together at once. Trois, trois, trois. All right? Trois. So that's the first part. And the second part is torrent. Torrent is O, O. So it's to, comme Toto. It's like Toto. Toto, to, right? To, and then again, the French R. Rend. So good breath and exhale. Rend, rend. To, rend. Encore, again with a good breath to start. torrent, 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 torrent. Right? So as a whole, we will take a good breath. Let's go together. 3 torrents. Encore, again. 3 torrents. 3 torrents. Yes, we can do this. Impossible is not French, or nothing is impossible in French. That's what we say. Next is kilometer 183.1 au kilomètre 183,1. They will arrive in Pas de Morgin. I know. Pas de Morgin. So French A for pas. Yeah, easy enough. Pas, a, pas. De, de. Morgin, Morgin. Same. Well, actually, well, let's just go for it. Mort, mort, mort. Jean, Jean. Un. Again, that one is pretty nasal, right? Un, Jean, Jean. Morgin. Morgin, Morgin. As a whole, together, ensemble, good breath. Pas de Morgin. Encore. Pas de Morgin. Pas de Morgin. We go. All right. And next is the finish line, l'arrivée. L'arrivée, where hopefully the best, of course the best, but maybe your favorite writers and mine and ours will arrive at the finish line, l'arrivée, which is at kilometer 192.9 au kilomètre 192,9. Now, hopefully this will also help you count in French, right? Which is pretty, it's something. All right. They will arrive in, so this is a long name. Because there's two names combined. So first off is près la joue. I know. We can do this. We can do this. Près, et, not a e. Et, près. Ré, and près. Près, la, with the French A, la, joue, ou. So it's a oo sound, oo, joue. So as a whole for this first part, it's près la joue, près la joue. And the second name is Châtel, Châtel. So A, and L, tel, Châtel, 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 les, porte, so A, or, te, horte, porte. Good breath. Porte. Porte du. I feel bad. Du. So that funny U sound. U. Du. Soleil. Soleil. And most of you by now know about Cirque du Soleil, right? So that might be very helpful. Thank you to Quebec. They are our, we call them cousins, you know, our cousins overseas, right? So, du soleil, 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 which is the sun. Soleil, sun. Du soleil. And I would say porte du soleil. Porte du soleil. So, les portes du soleil. And then we have to go back even a little bit more backwards to Châtel. So, let's take a good breath. Châtel, les portes du soleil. All right, I'll say it as a French person. So, Châtel, les portes du soleil. All right, we did it, you guys. We are done with Stage 9, Episode 6. And I will see you here back for Episode 7 for Stage 10. Stage 10, or let me pronounce this right, Stage 10 will be actually, you know, oh, here is the thing, right. Because there is a rest day in between. So at the end of this stage, of Stage 9, they will rest for Monday, July the 11th. It's a rest day, un jour de repos for our riders. And they will rest in Morzine, les portes du soleil. Les portes du soleil again. And they will then depart for our next stage 10 from Morzine, les portes du soleil to Megève. And I will see you then. All right. Thank you. Bye.